Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Whitney with the Yoga Art Space Studio, and today we've got a practice for the upper arms, the shoulders, that upper back. In our practice today, I'll guide us into the pose and then I'll leave us in silence for a little while. This will give us time to breathe, to be with the muscles, constantly adjusting them to be at a good maximum, not too little, not too much. And in this way, we have a nice meditative experience. You'll want 2 blocks for a couple of the poses that we have coming up. And we start off today laying all the way down onto our backs. As we're here, feel the spine and especially the arms and shoulders begin to relax very nicely. Wonderful inhales flowing in. Long, slow exhales. That's the slow breath that we'll tend to take on through our poses today, going through at least 5 to 10 of those breaths. Very slow, very deep, your own pace. So from here, we start off today in our banana pose. Arms stretch up overhead. We hold onto the left wrist and both shoulders scoot off the right edge of the mat. Left ankle crosses over right, and the legs also scoot off the right edge of the mat. We're in the shape like a banana. You could be passive here and enjoy just a nice, decent stretch. You also have the choice to be active, pushing against wrist and ankle connections, so that you can really feel the muscles of the shoulder, the side ribs, and even down through the hip stretching out. As we're here for a few good breaths, try to keep it slow and steady. We release this side so that we can move on to the second. Grabbing onto right wrist, arms, shoulders, everything scoots off that left edge of the mat. Right ankle over, legs scoot off to the left. So from this side of the banana, once again, start those slow, deep breaths, almost like our own little meditation. We have time to be with our body, be with our breath. As we start to release, continue to roll onto the side body on that left direction. Grab one of your blocks, and we're going to shove the block right under the armpit. You could be at the low height, that'll be the easiest variation. The higher up you make the block, the more pressure it puts into the tissues right in that armpit area. So try to find a good spot that opens up and puts a massage directly into the tissue. The head is welcome to rest on the bottom hand. And here we take those couple of breaths. Gently pressing our way up, we switch our legs around so that we can take the second side. Placing it directly under the armpit. Find a good amount of pressure, a good spot to massage, and then feel your body weight sinking down into the block. Good. As we gently rise up from here, we grab onto both blocks and we make our way down onto our bellies. The blocks are placed out in front of us so that we can rest our elbows up, bringing our hands into prayer position. Make sure that the head has space to dangle down as the arms get to simply swing all the way back behind us. Now note that the higher up the blocks are, the deeper that tricep stretch will be. So you have choice in the matter. Continue to play with it until you find the perfect amount. Start to release the arms gently down. And then we make our way to a nice seated position. Right leg spreading out wide. Grab one of those blocks and place it on the inner part of the right thigh and right elbow down. The head gets to rest on that right hand. And then from there, left hand also goes behind the head or finds time getting to stretch up into a long shape. Gently we rise up to switch the legs out. Block by the left, left elbow down, head in the left hand, and right arm stretching. gently rise up. From this point, we come onto our knees, spreading the legs nice and wide, trying to sit back. If you need to grab a block to sit on, that is absolutely a fine option. And we take a wrist stretch. So if you were to set the hands in front of you, we then rotate each hand so that the thumbs go to the outside, middle fingers are pointing toward the rest of our body. Walk the hands away from you until they're in a nice wrist stretch and forearm. Here, take those slow, deep breaths again. When we gently bring the hands up, you'll want to start off just by opening and closing the hands. Eventually rolling them around just a little bit. And as we bring the knees together, if we're comfortable maintaining this hero's position, this is fine. You can also sit on a block or raise yourself up to a high kneeling position. Now, the last way that we did the wrist stretch was the back of the wrist. So now we need to stretch the front of the wrist. So tuck the fingers into the forearms and then place the backs of the hands against the armpits and simply maintaining a tall posture, let those wrists relax against your body, enjoying that opposite stretch. Gentle release of the wrists. Same process coming out. Start by simply opening and closing a few times. Maybe you start to feel ready to roll or even shake the wrists out for a moment. Good, amazing work. So from here, we're heading to puppy pose. Hips stay over the knees. Arms walk forward, trying to keep them level, parallel with the shoulders, not going wider, not going narrower. And from here, the forehead rests down. Maybe the chin can rest down, dropping the heart into a nice back bend. Press the elbows down to help you rise up. Notice that immediate relief in the shoulders. And then start to sit the hips back in a wide knee version of child pose. As the hands walk forward, we then take the arms into a shoulder stretch. So thread the right shoulder under and through. Even set the top right corner of the forehead down. You have the option to walk the left hand to the right side if you want to focus more on a spinal twist. But if you're working on shoulders, my recommendation is to continue to drop the left shoulder down. That may lift the right shoulder off the ground just a little bit, but that's where you start to stretch the right shoulder out in the maximal way. Start to unwind the right shoulder and do the same thing on the left side. Perhaps the same slight lift of the left shoulder so that that left shoulder gets the maximal stretch. When we unwind from this side, we lower back down onto our belly, and we take the shoulder stretch that gets us in the opposite direction, the opposite part of the shoulder from that last movement that we had. So the right arm is taking a 90-degree angle and planting directly onto the right side. The right cheek is down. Bringing the left hand under the left shoulder. Start to allow the hips to lift. Maybe even the top leg rotates back. Getting that part of the shoulder stretch, just finding the perfect amount for today. Not too much, not too little. Lowering hips down, left arm takes the same stretch. Help the hips lift to the other direction. When we come back down from here, send your hips back into child's pose, again letting the arm stretch forward to get that version of the simple stretch. And then walking the hands in, find yourself laying all the way down onto your back once again. Open the arms like a figure T on the ground, spreading them very wide. Feel how open everything is from the shoulders through the triceps, all the way down to the wrists. And so from here, take a simple spinal twist, allowing the knees to go to the left, as you glue the right shoulder down and shoot energy off of those right fingertips. Allow yourself to notice that last little stretch through the muscles of the back and up to the shoulder. As we head to the second side, the knees lift up, they tilt to the right direction, and once again, we allow this time the left shoulder to be glued down so we get the stretch through those bottom muscles, the areas right under the armpit. When the body returns back onto the mat, allow the arms to have plenty of space off at each side. Even allow the shoulder blades to slightly squeeze behind your back. And from this spaciousness, we take a short shavasana, a few minutes to simply breathe and be with this newly opened upper body. Deepen the inhale and the exhale. Wiggling the fingers and toes, start to stretch the arms back up overhead. Roll over through a fetal position to help press us up to a seated position. Hands joining together in front of the heart. Allow your shoulders to roll up, back, and down. With this open upper body to lead us into a marvelous day, let's wrap up this wonderful time we got to share together with the sound of a silent Om through the duration of an entire exhale. Inhale now. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.